All right, welcome to Talk About Paint Club, your tri-monthly tangent from life around you. I'm Rick Strohmeyer, and I'm a color wizard, Harry.
And I'm Matt Hattress, who the lie detector said that was a lie, and I said I would not do multiple conventions in 1 year.
Oh, well, you know, that's what we do.
I'm literally the Maury Show. Lie detector says that was a lie.
Oh my goodness. All right, so let's see. So for the folks at home that don't play along normally, I'm painting along, or I'm painting tonight, doing a live paint. There you go. And yeah, and Nicole's apparently out of town, so we're great. Busy
this
as
is
fuck,
like 2 weeks in a row. My God.
Happy to have everybody follow along. So welcome. Yeah. So Nicole, how are you doing? How are you
Good.
doing?
Rick actually had convinced me so much so that he wanted to go to the Philly Zoo that I actually postponed my surgery just for him. I know. But happy to be able to actually see you and hang out.
Yeah, dude.
Right now I'm in Hartford, Connecticut. I was gonna say Creatives Con. Jesus Christ, Nicole, at 90s Con, which is like super nostalgic and everything like that. And it's kind of crazy to see like everybody like in all their throwback stuff and they're like all like the old school like Nickelodeon shit and all that. And you're like, at least for my age, I'm like, yeah. I barely make the cutoff on like made in the 90s though.
So. What's that like?
Being made in the 90s?
Yeah. It was fun. Okay, so let's see. Last night I was on Last night I was on Booze and Buddies. Had a great time with those guys over there, and it was funny though because like Fat and I were showing our age. Fat and I were showing our experience levels, and that was pretty cool because like we were talking about cartoons from the 80s, and that was like, oh my.
How old is Ghosty?
I don't remember. The only downer about last night was that I don't know Ghosty well. So
okay.
So last night was very much like an introduction and the So I mean, like it was cool because like we had a great time, but it was just like, man, you know, we're talking, shooting the shit. And I'm like, man, what? Just having to learn on the fly, like more and more common ground, and that's always cool when you socialize, social skills, right? And so
social skills.
So yeah, that was pretty cool. I had a great time, and so because of that, we'll talk later about the experience and joy and the fruit that was harvested from that, and that's
the fruit.
The fruit, yeah, dude. It's like you got to walk away with like some good takeaways, right? You can't just be like, oh, well, I was there to promote the show and that's it. No, man. Like, yeah. So, this Thursday I'll be on Paparazzi's stream on Instagram, and I'll be on a quest to find common ground with her and Trash Panda. So that's pretty.
That will be so much fun.
Yeah. So like the goal is, I mean, like I will be in Philly. So like I was just talking to Aaron earlier today, and I'm like, yeah, the goal is to get there at a certain time and be able to do that show to promote this show, and yeah, just go and talk, promote, paint. That's been like the last. That's going to be like the last 10 days of before the 25th is just talk, promote, paint, and that's pretty cool.
Good.
And I love fucking talking, so.
And you love fucking painting.
I do. I love painting, and I love sleep when I can get it. So there we go. So yeah. All right. So Nicole, what are you drinking tonight before we just dive right on in?
Well, I had a cocktail at dinner, and now I have water, but I also in the other room have twisted tea for when we're done. Since I got my buddies here who keep reminding me that I'm in the tri-state.
You're in a tri-state?
Tri-state.
Oh, tri-state.
Yeah.
I was like,
because I said like I'm tri-state, I'm not New England, and they won't let me live it down now.
well, you know, got to identify with what you got. You know, I mean, like
I've taught them what package stores are.
What's the package store?
It's a liquor store.
Oh, okay.
It's like a bodega.
Oh, I've not heard of that.
When we were at like Fridays or whatever, trying to ask them like, oh, where's the closest like liquor store to get beer? They were like the package store, and I'm like, oh, I forgot that they call that up here because we don't. down where I live, it's a liquor store.
Right.
So now everything I say, these two are like, tri-state, tri-state, tri-state. You're from the tri-state.
Yeah, big deal. All right, so I want to show something.
What are you? Oh, you're not drinking liquor because you don't.
No, I'm drinking root beer. I'm drinking root beer that I didn't put the lid on for, so I almost had a huge ass catastrophe.
Is that what kind of root beer? Oh, it's AW.
Bart's.
No, Schweppes. Oh, Bart's. Okay.
Bart's. It has. It's one of the few that has caffeine in it. Not that I need caffeine, but
oh, I didn't realize that.
Yeah. So apparently, like almost all Coke products have caffeine in it, because Sunkist is the only orange soda that I'm aware of that has caffeine in it. So
the more you fucking know.
The more you know. Yeah. So it's yeah. So we've pretty much been turning Fridays into pizza night.
Hi, Sound Demon.
And hey! Oh, let me turn on the freaking chat. Like that's I'm so. Hello. All right. So yeah. So we've been turning Fridays into pizza night, which seems very counterproductive because Fridays are typically like the busy ass day. But Toppers has been pretty good about making sure about being on time, and that's great. Oh, you know what? Oh, I have a bonus cake lid or cake pan. Excellent. All right, so
that's
check.
My friend Lewis. That's my friend Lewis. I was like, who's the Sound Demon? Hi, Lewis.
All right. Yeah. So pizza. Yeah, and like Alicia doesn't like Toppers because their bigger pizzas don't come out a little undercooked. So in the instructions, she has to put, please cook it well done.
Oh,
and they fucking do. And it's like ever since she started doing that, like, hey, cool, they're doing it right.
Yeah.
And that's what matters. All right, so I think I've finished 2 toys like while I was waiting for you. That's cool.
Oh, Jesus.
Well, it's not like but like the goal was to finish. Well, the goal was to finish tonight, and I will probably do that. But the plan that did get altered was the idea of going to my maker space I was thinking like right after paint club to go spray some stuff, pick some stuff up, and then tomorrow finish the rest tonight, and then go in the morning to varnish the rest of the stuff. And I'm foregoing tonight's trip and just leaving whatever got varnished yesterday to finish. And I'm just going to, I was like, okay, if I'm going to spray 3 things tomorrow, then there's no harm in spraying 8 things tomorrow. And
Yeah.
so, yeah. So also
Are you driving everything in?
Yeah.
Okay.
If I were,
I figure at this point.
If not, I would not be able to say I would not be able to finish if I were dependent on the mail, because I guess I could, but no.
It would have had to have been in the mail, I think, right? Like,
I think it would have had to be in by Tuesday at the latest, and yeah.
You're not gonna fucking overnight 30 pieces. God help you.
Oh no. So
could you imagine the cost?
Yes. No. Yes, it would be just as much as me driving there. So on my when I started this run, on Facebook, and once I decided I was going to use the blocks from Martian Toys as bases for some toys, I ended up doing a call asking for help on Facebook for words, so I could just tag up my blocks with words that are pretty non sequitur, and really liked that. And I ended up with 3 toys over there, 4 toys that ended up getting that treatment. And they turned out pretty successful. So last night I ended up on Booze and Buddies. I was like, all right, I have one more that needs to be completed, and I've run out of words. So I got some audience participation last night and got it all. And as soon as the cameras went off, I'm like, all right, let's tag this thing up and slap some wallpaper pieces on it. And
that's so cool.
So I finished it last night. So I'm going to share it right now. So we got
you used the fishy.
Yes. So
I've been waiting to see what he was going to do.
The second time, it's the second paint job of it. So yes, the coarse fish. So I could have, because I try to do is 2 of every platform or every production piece. So this would actually be piece number 3 from coarse. And so I think I talked about this on Paint Club. The idea of doing wallpaper graffiti, and
yes.
Cool.
Yeah.
So I ended up doing some more on this, and they're very non sequitur, which I love that, and they're also like, most of them are like warning labels that probably we don't need, but are fucking funny to process. So this one, I've got a hermit crab on it that's a warning label for table saws. And I think it's funny because if you're not paying attention that it's a fiddler crab, if you're not paying attention that it's a fiddler crab, then it's like, yeah, he's lost an arm. And that's fucking funny. All right. So then.
Just so you know, they're throwing water bottles at me from the other room.
Whoa, fucking throw one back.
Keep going. Okay, hold on, keep going.
And then I got a invasive species over here, because that's what pro. So like in Minnesota, the DNR, the Department of Natural Resources, yeah, that's what they're very big on people like cleaning their boats out before and after they go into the lake, so you don't bring invasive species in. So I was like, I got a little dude there. Yeah. So like, because you can get cool. tiger mollusks and stuff. So here, the invasive species is people.
I mean, we are.
And then like over here, I've got the no swimming, and I have a creature that a hybrid that I made years ago, but it never had a place. It just like, I always had it as a print in my house, and it was kind of like very minimal, but like putting it on the no swimming sign gives it like, gives it more feeling. And then I have a warning label for space lasers, because the only people who should be afraid of space lasers are Alderaan, are people from Alderaan, and they don't count anymore. So,
No, because Alderon's gone.
but yeah. So, and then last night, so
Oh,
the
they're called
words,
zebra mussels, by the way. I
yeah.
guess
Oh, yeah. What did I say?
tiger.
Oh, tiger. Okay.
Whatever.
Something
Same
with
kingdom.
something with strips. Yeah. All right. So last night, Devil's Knot gave us Fubar, and there it is.
Ah!
And
He gave
somebody
you food
somebody
bar.
said Charlie, so there's Charlie right there, Charlie, and then somebody else said Taint, and I was like, I can't just put Taint there, and I did though, but it's like down at the bottom, and it's just cut off.
He wrote taint.
And then remember when we did we highlighted a Nikki Davis as all right. So one of the so I was like, all right, one of his murals had a tag over top of it for Chris and Gary, and I had thought, or when I first saw that mural online, because he was pointing it out, he's like, oh yeah, look what happened. And I was thinking, wow, it was really nice of you to paint around Chris and Gary's tag, but it wasn't. It was Chris and Gary were dicks and just put it on top of the beautiful mural. So I'm like, cool. There's Chris and Gary again, right fucking there.
Did you show him?
No, not yet.
Yeah,
but,
you have. He's gonna fucking laugh his ass off.
But I was like, there
Oh,
it
Nikki
is.
will love that.
So
Okay,
like,
so do you remember when I told you that fish reminded me of something from like a cartoon show and it was driving me nuts?
huh? What was it?
So I figured it out. It's from Kablam. That was on Nickelodeon. And it was a specific sketch called Life with Loopy. I had to Google this. Loopy.
Loopy. Okay.
I had to Google this. I typed in Kablam fish to make sure I wasn't going crazy. And it 100% is exactly what I'm thinking of. And I'm going to send it to you because it is very strange. Kablam was like one of the weirdest shows. Like Nickelodeon made weird ass shows back in the day, as you were very well aware. But like Kablam, I think like took that idea and was like, let's make a variety show.
Okay.
So, of like cartoons and different kind of like claymation and like stop motion and all that. Yep, exactly. Dylan said Kablam, isn't that the stop motion show? Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. So Life with Loopy, her very specific episode is like, I guess her birthday or something like that, and she gets this fish. Really, I don't know what happens with it anymore, but she gets a fish and something happens with it.
Okay.
It's like a Make-A-Wish goldfish.
Huh.
So you know how you're doing like Make-A-Wish stuff. It's a
Yeah, I had to cancel that because I was sick this week. Or I was sick. Yeah, I was sick, and I was like, I had to cancel out, and
oh my
I was
gosh.
like, I'm so sorry. I'm like, it was because like the thought was, well, I can cancel and create some negative vibes between us, or I could like dope up on Dayquil, show up, spread my germs, and be really dangerous or hazardous to this Make-A-Wish kid, which I have no idea her ailments, but I'm like,
Don't do that, yeah.
so the mom was all cool. The mom was cool about it. I'm like, I am so sorry. And I didn't feel like a person again until about noon yesterday. And so I was like, well, this is me working. And yeah. So, yeah.
I'm going to read this to you. So it's, I guess there's a character named Henry. I don't know. Henry says he's seen that one a dozen times and slays him. I don't know what this means. Okay, so I guess she's a girl that cares for her Make-A-Wish Goldfish Foundation, dedicated to helping aquarium pets' dreams come true. So this fake character, or I think that Henry's the fish, I don't know. He interviews former First Lady Barbara Bush, whose fish Susan was distraught after Bush lost in 1992.
Oh.
So Jews granted a wish to go whitewater rafting. So basically, this whole entire thing, or like, is like a spoof on like current situations. Because like there was another one where it talked about inflation.
Mhm.
So like it's supposed to like obviously be like satire or whatever. But there's this little Make-A-Wish goldfish that reminds me of that goldfish who's sitting there making like the president's goldfish's dreams come true.
Great.
I swear to God,
I'll
Nickelodeon.
have to look that
Whoever
up.
wrote this shit must have been high.
Yeah.
It was
So,
1998. They could not have been that high.
oh, sure they could. 1998. You know, you got the war on crack, which still waging,
Oh, that's
and
true.
you got people desperately trying to make pot legal. And I think pot was legalized in Colorado first, and I think it was legalized by like the early in the late 90s. So yeah, I think pot's been legal at least 20 years in some place in the country.
It's not called Burger King. It's Good Burger.
Oh, with Keenan.
Yes, Dylan just
You
said
know that
Burger King 2 is coming out. Good Burger. Home
you know
of the
that
Good
dude has
Burger.
been
Came with your
Saturday Night
order.
Live for like fucking 15, 20 years.
He was at the con today. And my dumbass because I guess he was a surprise. My dumbass went like, shouldn't he be hosting a show in like an hour and a half? And then I'm like, oh wait, they're off today. I forgot.
Oh, that's cool. Like,
Right? I mean, they had like the people from like Saved by the Bell there,
oh,
stuff like that.
nice.
But those lines were like insane. I'm like, thank God that we're not like there for that stuff, you know, like the signings and shit. Like, whew.
So were
One
you
person came
operating a
from North
booth?
Carolina.
So were you operating a booth?
I'm with AW Geeks and Johnny since Skylar makes my earrings, so came up and helped.
Nice. Are you having
I'm
a good
sure
time?
one of them will disagree with me that that's what I came to do.
All right.
Yeah, no, it's really fun. It's really fun. Weirdly, like I've been kind of like in charge of like the Crocs, the Croc gibbets that Skylar's selling, and like it's crazy. It's crazy how people are obsessed with that shit. Like I feel like I've at least like $200-$300 in gibbets, and they're $3, $4, $5. Like it is a little absurd how intense people get. And like, here, I'll show you. So if you have like too many or whatever, Skylar also has these bracelets that you can use like the extra ones for.
Okay.
So I've just been wearing this bracelet all day to show people like you don't need it for your Croc shoes. I got little Eddie Munson here. I got my Hamsa. I got my Made in the 90s. A pot leaf, Frida, and a Bad Bunny with a Yankee sign on it. And it's like you could take them off or whatever. And I thought that was kind of cool.
That is cool.
Because like I only have like a few pairs of Crocs, but they're like the limited edition shit from like different celebrities and stuff. So it's like they come with their own charms. So it's nice to like get some extras.
Right on.
But it's insane. Like the kids come over and they're excited, or like the parents will get some for themselves, and then they turn around and buy like, well, I can't forget my kids. Let me just get 3 extra, and it's like $20, $30. I'm like, oh my God, just for this tiny little charm. Because apparently on Etsy, like if you buy it from someone on Etsy, it's still like a $20 or like $15 whatever shipping fee is, and it's this tiny little thing.
Wow.
Or whatever Etsy's like standard shipping is. Like
Yeah, Etsy's weird for shipping.
It's like here's a $1 item, but $15 ship.
Yeah, because they're like they will. Like I don't use that. When I quit, I was like, oh yeah, I guess I'll be having an Etsy shop too, and blah 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 blah. And I'm like,
No.
I really don't care for some of the mechanics of the shop because it's like,
Yeah.
because it'll tell you, it's like, oh, we don't think your shipping is, we think your shipping is too high, and etc. And I'm like, have you been to the post office lately? But like,
Or they'll sit there and like make it like an automatic fee, and you're like, I'm losing money. What are you doing?
right?
And then they take your money, like the percentage. It's basically like eBay for crafts.
Yeah, and then they like, oh, we're gonna automatically renew your things, and it's like, uh, I'd rather sell craps out of the back of my car. Not that I'm doing.
There's one girl that I found there that has like super cool original like artwork, like necklaces and stuff like that. But they're all like original like art done in acrylic pieces. So like I'm gonna pick up tomorrow this thing from her that's like a Sacred Heart and it has an evil eye on it and like just these crazy like funky modern art type of things. Like she has earrings that are clouds that have an eyeball in it and it has like lightning bolts instead of tears. And it's just so different for what you would expect from like a 90s con, you know. And it's like it's nice to see that because there's all these like different toy vendors there that like, you know, they have like Furbies or like Power Rangers, like all that kind of like old school shit. And then it's like you're trying to find that dime a dozen of something that you might actually like. And I walked past her and I'm like, art, you say?
Cool. That's cool.
I have nothing for what I've been working on lately. I won't even lie.
Use your words.
Because as you know, I thought I had surgery next Thursday, so I had an MRI, and then the contrast from the MRI really fucked me up, like bad. And I was tired, like just drained. And they warned me, but like, you know, my dumbass over here is like, I've had so many, I'm like, I'll be fine. And then I slept for days, like I could get up and then I'd be like 11 o'clock in the morning. And I'd be like ready to go back to bed. And then I had the follow-ups and I'm like, what time do I have to make art? Like physically, like be able to. So I made one thing, kind of like how I was showing you last week with the hearts.
Yeah.
But I did it with circles instead. And I outlined the circles with the holographic foil. So I've been kind of like working with that, like with foil, to see how that can translate on toys. Because I have before I left for here, I drilled a few holes. I always say that that's how I know I'm going to work on something like for real, and that's how you know mushrooms are going in it if there's a hole in there. So I drilled the locations for it, and I practiced on like a, you know, not, I shouldn't say throwaway toy, but like a toy that it's resin, but I don't really care about it because it was one of my miscasts. So I practiced putting like the adhesive on the vinyl, and like it seems to be working out pretty cool. So I think I'm gonna try to like start adding that kind of shit to it.
Cool.
But that's really all I had done besides like working on some collab stuff with Austin Creative for 5 points. You and I are gonna be together.
Okay. Yeah. No, like I just got some stickers in the mail for I guess 5 points, and I'll be making a lot more stickers when I come back. So I can have sticker packs and shit. And tomorrow, after varnishing my toys, I'm going to go get my prints. I should order them tonight, and then they will be. Yeah, I should order them tonight, but we'll see. And that's it. Like varnish toys, get the prints, then turn my tax information in. Oh, and get bubble wrap because
we're dorks. That's what Naga said. We're dorks. Yes, we are.
I have no bubble wrap anymore. So like,
do you need it for a Philly?
Yeah.
I can bring you some too.
What
I
am
have
I
a
going to do
big
in the
bowl.
meantime? Yeah, but I need it in the meantime.
Oh, I thought you meant sorry. I thought you meant at Philly.
No, I need
Not
it
not
to
to
go.
bring to Philly. So
Yeah.
duh.
So it's fine. But yeah, so I got to go get bubble wrap, get my prints. I'm gonna get my prints in 2 different places.
I think I know what cupcake I'm making you too.
Oh, good. I love
As long as
cupcakes.
you like Bailey's.
I do like Baileys. It's not
Irish
cooked
car bomb
fruit, so
cupcake.
that's cool. Like,
I know. That's all. That's what I told Smirks. I'm like, as long as there's no cooked fruit. But then I thought, like, oh, it's St. Patrick's like month, so I can make my Irish car bomb cupcakes.
there you go.
And it's been
Yeah.
a long time since I made those. So
Very cool.
you like it. And it might get you tipsy.
There you go.
Whoops.
All right. I'm trying to put some little tiny lines in, and then I'll show a finished piece. How's that? Well, not finished.
Yeah.
But I just have to glue some elephants to it. But as far as I'm concerned, it's done.
You can have one, Dylan. That's fine. I'll save some.
No, Dylan,
I
you have to
know.
come to the show.
So when I told him it was in Philly, he goes, "What does this hold Philly has on you?"
It's called
And
the
I
Brick
said,
and Mortar Store.
"Oh." I also said that Aaron, like he gave me my first shot. And
Yeah.
he gives people like a lot of new people chances, and it's like he
Yeah.
supports the shows that are being held too. Like they promote it, they do lives, they push the shit. So it's like,
Yeah.
why not be loyal to the people that are good to you?
Right.
And realistically, it is closer for me to go to Philly than it is to Boston.
Huh. No, like I did a couple toy shows locally because we had a local toy shop store, and the guy liked doing. I don't know if he liked, but he ran toy store. He ran toy events, and eventually I helped him do his last one, and by that time, um, I was actually using the internet to promote myself, or at least see what was out there. And I ended up well, here's a blast from the past, but I ended up asking Casey, a one-eyed girl, and she did. She sent a toy in for that, and Dave Webb, remember him?
Oh my god, yeah.
Yeah, and I
Where the
believe he
fuck's
sent
he
a piece.
been?
Tell you off camera.
Okay.
That's funny though. That's 2 nights in a row where I've had to tell people that's what we're going to consider an off-camera
Combo.
conversation. Yep.
I
But yeah,
respect it.
so
I respect that.
yeah, so I believe they both sent pieces in. It was cool. Like it was a cool show at Tomodachi. It and sometime afterwards, the guy had opened up a second store in the Mall of America, which was super cool.
Oh wow.
And like the one of the last times, not the last time, but like, I don't know, like one of the last 2 or 3 DTAs, Tomodachi had also gotten nominated for best brick and mortar store. Oh, that was the year Toy Tokyo won best store.
Oh yeah.
So yeah. So anyway, but so when we did that show, we had a lot of local people who were happy to be doing custom toys, and this one dude and I, we were setting it up, and Denny had this idea of he had a shit ton of these little plastic planets, and he wanted to suspend them
Those were
from the
cool.
ceiling. I mean, like hundreds of these things. So we suspended them from the ceiling, and it was cool. It look I know I have in one of my Facebook albums at least one picture of us at the show, because Denny ended up getting custom crates built so that those were the plinths that everything was built on, and I ended up making stencils for the plinths so that they could say fragile on them, for the crates. So they would say fragile on it, and Denny was like, "Oh, can you make them with in say fragile in different languages so you could be like
Oh.
inclusive, but also have a very international feel for it?" I'm like, "Well, sure." And so I ended up having to like look up online how to spell fragile in different languages, and
Yeah, you started having to fucking Google.
yeah, and it was super cool. I thought it was.
I could
badass.
picture you like on Google Translate.
And yeah, super cool. And so suspending the planets on fishing line. I think they were 3 feet from the ceiling,
Oh Jesus!
and they looked dope. But putting them up was a pain in the ass. Like we had either we had T-pins that were poking into the floating ceiling, and there were a couple times where like somebody did something and moved them, and all of a sudden you have like a dozen all tangled up. And it was like, Lucas, I think it's going to be easier that we just cut them
Don't
free
do
and do
this.
this section all over again.
It might be a better idea that we don't proceed with this idea.
And like, remember the horns, the horn platform that Martian Toys made a few years ago, the Yeti in a high school jacket.
Yes.
So
I was like, is it the guy who looks like he's wearing a Letterman?
a Letterman
thing?
jacket. Yeah. So that dude had brought, or Denny had hit a deal with that guy to showcase his stuff, and so like, and Denny's all thinking like, oh, it'll be like one or two pieces. Nope, this guy sent every single colorway of every platform, and as cool as it was like, wow, this took up a lot of space.
Oh
And
my god!
yeah, and
Who just does that? Whatever.
that's what Lucas said, and I'm like, dude, it's cool. Like one day we might be painting those.
That are we?
No, no.
Okay.
But then, like, fast forward a few years, and Aaron's got a deal with the dude, and Aaron's produced those, and that's pretty rad. Oh,
That is cool.
oops. I forgot to paint something. All right. I was like, cool, I'm going to show this thing off. I'm done. Nope, I forgot to paint something. So I'll be
He's a liar.
right. It'll be done before like this show is done. That's
Liar. Liar. I really wish I could show off the stuff like that Lost and I are doing because it's on my iPad and I'm like,
so where's Lost going to be? Is Lost going to be with us too?
No, he has his own table.
Okay.
He did a half table.
All right, very good.
Which I completely forgot you were able to do, but whatever.
Still saved you, like, dude, are you kidding? Like,
and it makes sense for us to have it because we can also keep it open like how you did at that craft show.
Yeah. But also like when if you split a booth, then you don't have to pay. If we did electricity, you don't have to pay electricity twice. You don't have to pay you don't have to pay Wi-Fi twice.
I think he just wants to like have his own space.
That's fine. He can have his own space. I'm just like, it's kind of cheap of the venue to be like, oh. So I'm gonna be a little critical of it.
Hopefully we get AC this year.
Yeah, that would be nice. Like, but yeah, I'm gonna be a little critical about how that's being run.
It's a good thing we have your generator.
Criticism's healthy. I'm not bad mouthing. I'm just like, it's a little fucking cheap.
Just a little.
But yeah, so the piece that I'm painting a picture frame. So so I ended up losing the original one, and
Oh
I was
no.
like, all right, it's going to be faster to make a new one than try and tear my studio apart.
And then you're gonna find it right when you don't need it anymore.
I probably will. I'll be a little annoyed, but whatever. That's
That's
the
right.
name of the game. So this will be like this is my solution to plug up a hole in the toy because I took it when I took parts apart, took things apart or edited it because I was like I don't want this part in there. I'm like, well, what am I gonna do? And so because it's Salvador Dali and it's an inspired Salvador Dali. I'm like, well, what am I
Ooh
gonna do?
la la.
Ooh la la, exactly. So I'll show it right now. Like
Okay.
so. Oh, okay. Oh, I guess clean off my brush. The brush is important. All right, so well, there's some other parts to do. Let's go. There's a part that's keyed. I'm like, whoops, which way? Oh, that way. Cool. Well, I can't get it. I can't get it to fit right now. That's embarrassing. I'm just gonna laugh at my goofiness. All right, there we go. So it's the donut brain.
Oh
So
my god, he looks so fucking cool.
thank you. So I ended up ripping the hair out of the head, and I put a walkway in, really mossy, chewed up, weathered walkway. Um, I have elephants to put on there. They're over there. I haven't. That's the thing. I'm like, oh, I haven't finished those. So I ended up repainting it to. I got inspired by like three different Salvador Dali pieces, and I was trying to figure out something to do with this part to make it not look like a face, and yet I still ended up making it look like a face. Um, so I ended up. There we go. I ended up using the
I'm
sulfur
not frozen.
spring.
My mouth is just still open. Like,
So the sulfur springs out of Yosemite, the prismatic spring. I ended up using that as the inspiration for these parts to have it just like some because I like to pull
that's
things from nature.
wild.
I like to pull things from nature, and almost this is the first time I've ever done something with an actual like geographic feature instead of like animals. So that pattern, like I have a tech over here that's not completed yet that's getting the same treatment. So
Oh, I
there
love
we go.
that.
So thank you. This is actually the only Megatech I'm painting for, which feels really weird to be going to Martian Toys and not having more techs. But I have some ramen.
That's
but
fine.
I have like
Wait, the
I
video
have,
cut out? Can you see us now?
what the video cut out for what?
No,
Yo,
Jason just said video cut off.
Oh,
I'm
no.
just reading.
Let me see. Yeah. So here's the. It's not. It's. I need to glue in the freaking elephants, and so like the collar.
I love
even
that.
like. So the collar, I went with a crazy pattern for that to just break it up. And
I see
Dolly
some
likes it.
dirt color on the bottom.
There's a lot of dirt. It's just like, here's my color of the week or color of the month right there, y'all. so
Bam,
yeah,
bitch!
I'm really pleased with it. I made the donuts super bright. I turned the ears into donuts too. So like,
Oh my god, I didn't even notice that. But bring it
I
closer. Bring it closer.
so like yeah, I painted the
Oh
donuts to be the
my
same color,
god.
same colors. And then this is the most sculpt I did on any of the toys was that little walkway, that donut, because this one's I sculpted it. I had to look it up on YouTube on suggestions on how to make a donut. Because oddly enough, there were some techniques that I didn't. I mean, like yes, make a ring, but this person was like, oh, you put it on Saran wrap. You make your donut on Saran wrap. Then you take like you roll your frosting out on another piece of cling wrap, and you flip it over, put it on there, and then make your donut on it, put your thing on there, and then you can pick it up on saran wrap and put it wherever you want. So it's like, so while you're sculpting it, you're pretty much hands free when you place it. I was like, yes, that's what I need. And so yeah. So this hole, let's see. Yeah, so this hole needs to be covered up. So I've got made a little tiny, not that tiny, but I made a picture frame to put over it, and it's got a
Stop it.
so it's got a. I mean, like, really, I'm not tooting my own horn right now, because like
Toot toot.
the harder pieces are being completed tonight. I mean, like,
I'm
the
tooting
more
your horn for you.
the more elaborate pieces are being completed tonight, and that's like over here I have some more scenic pieces that they're the ones that Smirk sent me one of her pieces, and I turned them into more scenic things. And like one of them's going to get a resin cast in it or pour in it for a water effect, and yeah. And the frame is balsa
I
wood.
can't wait to see that.
So the frame is balsa wood, so it sands real easy, it cuts real easy, it breaks really easy. But
All the
so,
real
like,
easies.
all the real easies,
They all apply.
yeah, they all apply, and but it breaks easy, but you can beef it up with glue and firm it up, and that's like I've put a couple layers of or coats of watered down wood glue and matte medium to seal it up and give it some firmness. And because it is balsa wood too, I'm going to put a magnet in it, and in the head I'll put a little a bolt of some sort, and epoxy the bolt in at the head to be the magnetic stud. I'll sand down the paint from where I'm going to glue down a magnet, and it's just going to be a simple magnetic fit.
The seamless thing, yeah.
Yeah. So, and it also
Rick is going all the fuck out.
And it also makes packing it up a little easier, shipping it a little easier, and losing pieces a little easier. But yeah,
I like how before everything is like easy to do this, easy to do that. Now it's another.
It's like, yeah, you got the easy parts, but you have the good. You have the good with the bad, and that's kind of the point I'm making. But like,
that's the facts of life.
Yeah, like it's a.
Please tell me you got that reference.
Yes.
Okay, I was like
equal force principle, like, especially with superheroes. Like the flaw of a good superhero, or the character of a good superhero, is they can take what they can dish out. All right, so like Superman's kind of like, to me, Superman's kind of boring because he can just show up and be the God machine. He can, like, Justice League gets their ass handed to them by Steppenwolf. He shows up and whoops them in like 20 seconds. So,
but you know what?
Yeah,
he's not faster than the Flash.
Oh, I love when he winks at him. I've only seen the Snyder cut, and I don't know if hello. I have not. Yeah, I haven't seen. I've only seen the Snyder cut, but I love when, and I don't know if it's in the original Justice League movie, but I fucking love it when they're all dogpiling Superman, and Flash is looking at him, and he just looks back, like, oh, and then the Flash shits himself. Yeah.
I actually
Oh, that's
at the
hilarious.
first 5 points like ever, there was this guy who had a print of like all speedsters, and you either had to pay.
Hmm.
Okay, so the deal was if you named all of them, you got it for free, and you couldn't
Okay.
get any of them wrong. But if you fucked up, you had to pay the $20 for it.
All right. Sounds fair.
So basically, you're committing to buy it or win it. And
Right.
I was like, bet,
right.
let's do it. Let's do it.
Okay.
Gimme. Let's go. And it was in order of who was supposed to be like the fastest. So it had Flash,
Uh-huh.
Reverse Flash, it had Kid Flash, it had Sonic, it had Superman, it had like Chitara, like just random like fucking Mighty Mouse. Like it was had all of the Powerpuff Girls. So it was like one of those like, if you don't know one of these fandoms, you are done. And I was like,
So you had to identify them, or just
Yeah,
or
in order.
Okay.
So the guy
Okay.
would point at it, and he would either go like ding or and I'm like, crack my nuts, let's go, bitch.
Good for you.
But every like I still have the poster, and every time I think of like when people have this like the Superman like combo, I'm always like, but he ain't faster than the Flash or Reverse Flash or Zoom or Kid Flash.
Did you get your poster for free?
Hell yeah, I did.
Did
He said I was only the only person at that show, the only girl, and the only like out of all the shows that he did it for, I was the third person like in general that could do it, and I was like, pop the collar, bitch. I don't know why he felt necessary to be like, and you're the only girl. I'm like, there's 3 people. Like, what's the ratio here? 1 to 2 now? Like, congratulations.
Yeah, right. I mean, like, yeah.
Like, did you expect me just to know the Powerpuff Girls but not know who Mighty Mouse was? Like some of them are old, like, references. So, like, you know, my generation wouldn't know necessarily.
The younger generation doesn't appreciate the speedsters.
Yeah. I can just tell you right now, I'm so glad that I have my headphones in, because I don't know what those 2 are listening to back there, but I could just hear it, and I'm like, thank God I have headphones in. So none of y'all have to hear them. I think they're watching like My Hero Academia or something, and all I hear is like loud.
Oh. All right. That's cool.
Ooh, Flash is my favorite superhero, so I love that you have those comics.
There you go. All right. Well,
Fun fact.
little tiny elephants to paint for this thing.
Oh, that is tiny. Ooh.
Yep.
That is a baby. But it makes
Thanks
sense.
to eBay, I have these. So yeah, it's like, so for this piece, I was like, all right, I want to make a Salvador Dali piece. And funny enough, like the dude who built this or made this from Spain is from Spain, and you can totally see like his own influence from the surrealists, and I love it. And right now, I can't tell you the name of the guy who did it, but I know Martian Toys produced it. And so I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna go in on this. I'm just gonna take it one step farther, and fuck yeah. And I like, all right, elephants are from the Temptation of Saint Anthony. The basis for the color scheme is from his Dali's Burning Giraffes painting, and then like some of the painting methodology is from, well, it's from Dali's all over the place, but like I was looking at his Narcissus piece and the Burning Giraffe, and of course the Temptation of Saint Anthony, and I was like, fuck yeah, we're gonna have a good old time. And then it's just kind of sat.
It's nice to know that you're not just going like, ooh, melting clock, which is like what everybody seemingly thinks to do.
But yeah, that's what, and you know, the having the sulfur springs in there is kind of just like, and since it's going from piece to piece, I'm like, there you go. There's the Dolly melt, and I'm all right with that a little bit. So I have 5 elephants in this piece. When I first bought the elephants, I was like, I'm gonna hide those little guys in every fucking toy I can. And halfway through, I'm like, oh, I kind of forgot to put them in places. So like, I can put one in that fish, and then I've already glued one down on one of my pieces for that Smirks gave me, and I'll I'm like, I had like 10 of these things that I got. I got a 10 pack, so I'm like, let's put them wherever, and we're just gonna play find the elephant.
Find the elephant. Apparently, the number 5 is the master of change, adapting, and needing to experience exciting things to feel fulfilled. And so it's like I guess curiosity. I looked up the numerology for 5.
Right.
But I think it's kind of cool because it's like it says the number 5 is curiosity and the need for exciting experiences to be fulfilled. So that is kind of cool. And it's cool that you're putting 5 on that, and it does like connect to like the curiosity of like how Dolly's work was.
Oh, the more
Well,
you know.
even that you didn't even know what you were doing.
That's cool.
Give me a number and I'll find any way to connect it to.
Let's go with 19.
Okay.
I've been using that one for years.
Let's see. It represents spiritual growth and expansion.
All right.
And encourage you to reach for your goals and to dream big.
Nice. Dark Tower. That's why I've been using it.
We are not talking Mandalorian, Dylan.
Oh,
we will
no.
not talk Mandalorian.
We won't talk Mandalorian
until the season's over.
Till the season's over with. And Nicole and I have made some friendly predictions. None of us have had success yet. I suspect I will. I will have first blood on this.
Yes,
but,
you will. From what we've seen, yes.
Yes. So, but
I can't
until
wait
then.
for that.
Okay. Look at that.
Well, no, not well. Excuse me. It's because Rick and I don't do spoilers.
Yeah, we don't do spoilers. Sorry, dude. It's like, yeah, and like I won't now that we've seen episode 3.
Okay, we hold on. We have a Johnny try to crawl out of the room so he doesn't block our.
I put my super glue.
They're trying to be so respectful of me. Oh God.
Well,
yeah, Rick and I don't do spoilers. Yeah, we don't do that.
Yeah, so we'll do and I won't be after this week. I won't get to see the Mandalorian again until episode 6. Because I'll miss 2 Wednesdays being on the road, and my wife won't watch them. She don't care as much as I do.
I was about to say, really? Are we really going to pretend like this is an Alicia problem? We just have to remind me not to tell you what happened this past week.
She's not. I'm not throwing her under the bus. But yeah, no, I like what they're doing with it. I'm very pleased with what they have, and like, I was like, oh, they went full Andor, cool. So like, that's great. Like,
Evil Wing asked what 4 means in numerology. It is the worldly authority. It is like actually like the power number. It's like this discipline and stability number. All right, back to not talking about numbers.
And then like, I wish I took a picture of how these elephants went in before so retrospect tip. you're dry fitting something, or dry fit before you commit. It's like, this is Chewbacca. He's a Wookiee. And that would be like my big old tip. But so dry fit
I love the
before
way
you
you
commit.
say that. This is Chewbacca. He's a Wookiee.
Yeah, the Wookiee defense from South Park. And yeah.
That's me. You're so funny. I can't stand it.
I fucking and like, okay, so also with the elephants, it makes me, well, there goes one. It makes me feel like it's partly a Sandy Scoggin um, photograph, because I love how she does like very monochromatic settings, and then fucking like a lot of repetition with very bright things in
Yeah.
there. And so like this very much had like floats my boat, you know. Like,
We should make that rule number 4 for Paint Club.
what? Dry fit before you commit?
Yeah,
Fuck
dry
yeah.
fit before you commit.
Yeah. Okay,
I mean,
so
I feel like it applies even with sketching too. Or like, before you paint something, it's like sketch out it before you're not gonna sit there and just go, let me paint this, and like all of a sudden everything's gonna be fucking like
oh, I totally
in. Okay, well, we're done. Good night, everybody.
I totally do that.
So do I.
But okay, so
Sometimes.
Booze and Buddies. All right, we were on there, and
Yes,
we were
let's
talking
do that.
about, like, so Fett asked about like everything that I'm doing, like the shows and stuff, and it was pretty cool, because Fett was like, wow, you've done your research. And he just had questions about like things I could talk about, things I could promote, blah blah blah, and it was pretty nice. And when he was talking about the show, or when we were talking about this show, I was explaining like all the different things that we do, and one of them was like the idea of trying to get shit done, and trying to eliminate the procrastination gene. And I did that on purpose. And after a while, he's like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna have to borrow that so we can, because like challenge the viewers here to try and do that." I'm like, "We should do a cross-platform event where we challenge on one show, we can everybody can talk about it for for a period of time, and then we do the grand reveals on another show."
I like that.
And he's like, "Wow, send me the details." So that's that. And
It's a Booze and Paint Club crossover.
yeah, so yeah, that was the idea, was to do that. And
Everyone, that's Faded Fridays first. No,
Faded, excuse me.
that's what they call it on Booze and Faded Fridays.
Oh, okay. I was like, what did I miss? Oh, a lot, apparently. So yeah, so we laid the groundwork last night. We're still laying the groundwork today. And we won't start this up till sometime in April. But if you have something on the shelf that you're like, it's been here a while, like we all fucking
Like
do.
everything.
So
I
yeah.
think I have a box full of stuff.
So we're gonna do that. I'm like, I already have 2 ideas, and it's not like you have to start fresh. You grab something that's been in fucking limbo, and that's what I'm gonna do. I have some. I'm probably going to be an overachiever and have 2 things, just because I have one that will be like really cool, or one that would be really cool, and one that's probably more feasible to do.
Rick, an overachiever? Never.
Well, I do not want to be like, oh, I'm going to do this thing and have it just be so overwhelming I can't complete it in a 5-week time period, So my
that
idea
makes
is
sense.
my idea is to have a life wrap so I don't look like the world's biggest asshole by not having something done. That's the
He'll
truth.
you'll be like, look at my idea. I fucked it up.
Yeah, exactly. So,
I made this
and
plan. I didn't execute it.
and full disclosure, I will probably be like doing a little bit of work prep on it to make sure that it's easy to be. I have to do some magnetizing. And that's probably the one big reason why I haven't even touched this fucking thing, and it's why it's upside down in my basement. So it's like, wow, I can get this fucking resin kit done. That's cool, and have
Yeah.
a reason too. So, all right, let's see.
I can't wait.
So yeah, we're
For
And
the
I like
people who don't
collaborating.
know about Booze and Buddies, like those guys are so much fun. They are fucking hilarious. They're such cool people. Fett, Yessie, and Evil Ghosty are like, they're just good people. They're super good people. I don't think we've had any of them on the show.
we have not.
I know
We
Fett wasn't able to come on for when we were going to do that decon, when we had the pieces or whatever, when
right.
we did the black paint.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to be able to like have him on here because we wanted to have him on like 2 years ago.
It's true. And then like
and
when
creatives, we wanted to have him after creatives, but he was flying back, so we were like, oh.
So yeah, so we're gonna try and get that cross show promotion set up, and it should be fucking cool.
Hell yeah.
I don't see a reason why it should be nothing but success, and that's important. Like I don't want to waste anybody's time being like, oh, this is cool, but like the idea is to improve everybody's time by having cool ass shit at the end. So there you go. Uh-oh, I have an invasive species. Did you hear him? Are you honking at me?
I heard him.
Look, you honk. Goodbye.
Which means
so open. Love me and leave me. Asshole.
He's like, I'm not getting tricked to go into this video tonight.
I am not getting picked up tonight. So there we go. All right. Oh, I want to show one. Oh, okay, we got plenty of time. All right. Who am I to decide? I got my painting stuck. It's the Mona Lisa. So it'll be the Mona Lisa upside down in a minute.
I fucking love that you didn't use a dolly piece.
You wait. This is the dry fit before you commit cutout.
Oh.
So now
I
grab.
see.
The nice thing is I have a laser printer instead of an Epson. So the laser printers are cool because you can decoupage with them or collage with them and not worry about bleeding. And that's fun because like a lot of my pieces have like some type of collage on them. And it was pretty much like once I figure out a method for actually getting them to stick to the piece, this has gone pretty damn smooth. And there we go. So here's it's going to be upside down. I ended up putting a big ass dolly mustache on her.
I love it. I love it.
So
That is fantastic.
That's that. And or
oh my god, Richard Strohmeyer, you fucking evil genius. This is when I wish you had the same mustache so you could twist it.
No, I don't. Dude, I don't like facial hair.
No, I know. I'm just saying for right now, where I could say evil genius and you just go, yeah, like twist your face.
Okay. So yeah, what I'll probably do is, so it's getting glued in right now. and I'm probably going to use a little UV resin to over top of it to give it the a pane of glass.
I like that.
So there we go. It's affixed, and then it'll go over here, and then
Lisa
all right.
Dolly.
Who's a watching? All right, so we got. You know what we'll do? I'll just grab a little piece. So. Poster tack, one of the best things to use while painting. Holds your shit together. You can use it as a masking agent, etc. And I'm just going to use it to hold my painting in so I can pick it up. All right, here's what it looks like completed. So we got boom, boom, boom. Now the green donuts, this is not a blacklight reactive piece, not very much. The green donuts are just a yellow-green acrylic. There we go. And so I got.
I'm looking at it on my iPad so I can see it like bigger. Sorry.
There we go. That's much better. Oh, that's much better. All right. So
Wow.
it's just the So Flat yellow green, which I really like how well it came out. So I got an elephant coming out
I
of the
love that
nostril.
shape of theirs.
So I got one coming out of the nostril that comes around. You've got the sulfur springs. You've got the pattern. You've got the new donut that I sculpted. You've got elephants. Boom, 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 boom.
Walking past the picture, going all the way back there. Oh my god!
So yeah, I'm stoked. This came out super nice,
dude. You killed it at your last show, but I feel like you've like literally gone from like if you were here, you somehow went like here, and I don't know how that's humanly possible because you're already like insanely like genius with your work, and then you just went like, oh, hold on, bitch, I'm gonna elevate it even harder, and I'm like,
well,
excuse me.
Oh, thank you. So yeah, there's
lose the headphones.
piece number 2 that I completed today. But piece
Show
number 3.
off, show off, show off.
Nah, dude. Here's the next one to be working on. The
With the pups? With the puppies?
No, this is with. I showed this last night. Guess who sculpted my brain?
Skadoots.
Skadoot sculpted my brain. So the brain goes in his little hands. I'm trying to not scratch it. So rule number 2. So here he is smashing the brains. I have to do like a little bit of paint on the teeth and gums. And that little dude is smashing his brain against, to clean this. Hey, where are my little blocks? My little blocks that go in here. It's smashing it against a TV.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Stop that.
So I made a TV for. Today I ended up going to the makers and I made a TV with a laser cutter. So I cut. Oh, it's backwards. So I ended up. I paid for an app to make boxes on the laser cutter, and best $4 I've spent in a while. So I made a box with a lid. This is actually the lid, which is bigger than the box. So it all.
That's kind of funny.
Where the fuck is mine? I'm all pissed off that I'm missing pieces. Anyway, so it all fits in. So this inserts in.
Like the television set, yeah.
So like the old TVs, and then it's going to sit in front of him. So he's smashing a fucking TV with his brain.
Oh my god, that reminds me of This Is Your Brain on Drugs commercials.
Right? And
but literally it's saying that this is your brain watching the commercial.
There they are. Thank goodness. So I need to find me a little knob to put in here. I thought I had something and I don't. So it's just a fucking circle. But I'm going to modify this so I can actually turn it into a print. It says this is not a drill on here. I ended up making this graphic about 2 hours ago, and so yeah, I I'm I'm pretty happy with it. I need to paint the TV to make it more wood-like, and then I'm not gluing it until I'm not gluing. I can varnish it here. I'm not because I'm going to use a beeswax for it, um, but I'm not varnishing it until. I mean, like, yeah, I'm going to varnish it, but I don't have to do it immediately, and I don't have to assemble it all. So the idea of making sure that we're doing it as a form fit box allows me to cut a couple corners for not painting everything because nobody's going to
Yeah.
see the inside. And yeah, so I just wanted it as retro as possible. So I still have to do a couple coats of paint on this. And
Are you going to paint antennas?
I thought I had something to make antenna with, and I can't find them at the moment. Part of me wants to bastardize some other toy, but I'm not going to. If I can, I can. If I won't, I won't. Because like the antenna were always like a separate piece from the toy. Because like I had a couple of the rabbit TVs with rabbit ears. I remember they were always separate, and so
Yeah, you had to put it on top. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm probably just gonna continue with that idea. The rabbit I only have to put in like I'm painting the gums right now as we speak, and then that's done.
Oh, you can say his ears are the rabbit ears.
That's where Alicia was going with too. And I'm like, yeah, it's possible.
Because I mean,
But-
it's smashing his brain. Look at that fucking.
I'm like I just I wanted to make sure I got like a very lit, have it look like it's very much like has this like mood lighting for it to be like just pure anger and
Like,
frustration about it.
yeah.
So
Oh my god, and it's gonna
So-
look like it's getting lit up by the TV. Shut the motherfuck up.
so
Shut
yeah,
the
it's,
motherfuck up. I cannot believe that.
So I'm pretty pleased with this, and like this one sat around for a while. I mean, like, 'cause I got this from Aaron maybe a year ago, and it is literally sat around with me, like trying to figure out what I wanted to do with it, and doing this show has pretty much not reinvigorated me, but it's inspired me with the stuff I had around the house, plus like whatever they sent me to just make them as a little off as off the wall or as different as I can. So
I
Yeah.
love it. I'm so
That's-
excited for the
that's-
show.
that's been
And for
that's
me
been
to take
cool.
over the camera for Paint Club.
Me too. Yeah, dude, that's badass.
Y'all ready for
So,
that?
yeah, we got the gums going on. I haven't decided if I want to put pupils in or just leave them as like blank green eyes.
Okay, so my idea, tiny people.
What? Your idea? What?
Either tiny pupils, like
Uh-huh.
like sounds wrong, or
Uh-huh.
big people. Like it has to be one. Like it can't be like a middle one. It has to be either cracked out or cracked out. Just choose
Right.
the drug he's on that represents television.
Yeah. So. Okay, so that's 4 toys. All right, so then I got. All right, so Smirks made these doors, these roll-up doors.
The gate doors,
Standalone
yeah.
doors. And so it's partly the reason why we have the show named Door Number One, because that was actually the second choice of show names. And I was like, she was telling me what she does, and I was like, okay, well, I like the idea, and clearly I read stories, or I've read a story that involves magic doors. The Dark Tower is all about magic doors, and they lead to other places. And you've got Narnia and a few other series that have doors that are basically teleportation portals, and I love that idea. So I was like, "That's what I." She's like, "Oh, do you want one?" I said, "Yeah, but I do this," and I pray when people collaborate with me about like sending me their platforms, I tell them what general idea I do, just in case they don't want me to do it. All right,
That's
so
fair.
so I was telling her, okay, I will. I want to make them up as set them up as scenics or scenes to be like portals from another world, to another place, from another win, and so I made this one. And in the Dark Tower, they have these like pristine ironwood doors that have like a tarot card or a name plaque on them that say like the prisoner or unfound, lady in shadows, the pusher, and it's just very pristine. So I decided I would label these too, but I was going to label them the same way that I've been labeling the walls with the wallpaper graffiti and stuff. So they are kind of pristine, but not as pristine as you want. So this is the fragile, or no, the accidental tourist. So I painted it with a kind with a vaporwave
Oh
uh,
my god.
mindset, and so this one, you better believe this one's blacklight reactive. So it's
I
got
was
like
like,
it's
I wouldn't doubt it.
it all, and it has the same idea that I've been doing with things that are not very non sequitur, but they look like they should belong together. So God, this one lights up like crazy. Um, but I muted down the bright blues and purples for the background, or for the scene, so that I can have this be like there it is. And on the back, in the Dark Tower, when you walk around, you can't see the door from the other side. It you just see through it, all right? But on this one, I tagged it up and have like an
Door
eyeball
number one.
graffiti. I have the show announcement on it, an upside down Mona Lisa, and it's got some weathering to it, but I try to make it look. I wanted to keep it looking still pristine. All right, so even though it's been tagged up, it ain't going far. All right, and I have to I have to take a sander and clean up this edge because this looks like shit. So tomorrow I'm gonna go out. I'm gonna go outside with a disc sander and just clean it up because it looks globby. But and I need to put an elephant on it. The funny thing with this one is that these mushrooms are for a miniature game. They're meant to be look like you got a massive forest going on in there, or going on with your miniature game. Here they look a little alien, but they're still like, I guess, somewhere within the realm of reality. When you have a little elephant walking by, that's going to change the scale altogether.
Yeah.
But here's the funny thing. All right. So accidental
Is that a
tourist, the
footprint?
mushrooms. Yeah, that's a King Corpse footprint. So even funnier to have like, oops, where did I just come from, or end up, So that's pretty fun. Um,
I
yeah.
feel like for each of your pieces, you need to write like a short story.
Oh, I do.
No, like to go with it.
Yeah.
Like you need to type
Oh,
it
no.
out. You need
Yeah.
to put it in the box, and you need to be like, "This is the story for your art."
Okay, and then
Or
this
tell them
one.
which episode of Pain Club to come to.
Exactly. So then this one is still drying, because I ended up having. This is the one that I'm going to do a resin pour on. And
The water
probably
stuff?
not
Okay.
tonight. So yeah. So let's set the scene. In the Dark Tower, as you know, I love that series. In there, in the book two takes place 98% or majority of it on a beach. They're just walking along a beach and they're having some weird adventures. because there are some magic doors that take Roland, the main character, through to New York of different time periods. And at one time period, he is in like 1986, and he's about to recruit a drug addict as one of his traveling companions. And when they come through, or when the and he brings this guy back and forth into his world like two or three times, and he goes into New York once or twice. And on the last time that they come from New York to the beach, they end up pulling in a gangster that was trying to see what happened to the drug user, because he was muling coke for the mob, and they pull him in, and he gets killed on the beach. He gets shot and then eaten by these lobster monsters that are on the beach.
Oh my god.
So fun, right? And so
Super.
he um last weekend I was on a quest to find crabs from a local game store, crab miniatures, and they didn't have any. So Alicia's helping me look for things, and like we were like going to go with like giant leeches or spiders. Spiders were going to be like the number two thing, and I couldn't get them. So I settled for scorpions instead of lobsters, instead of crab people. So here's my beach scene with two little, well, there's the elephant too, but there's two little baby scorpions. There's the scorpion over here, and Alicia, and it says the goon on the front. And so it's been tagged up again with door number one, another eye, an invasive species. And so Alicia was like, why does it say the goon? And I'm like, I like to believe if Jack Andolini was able to escape from Roland and Eddie, and he just kept hoofing it down the beach, he would have found this door that said the goon, and he would have been like, what's that mean? And tried to open it and get out. And I also would have believed that this guy wouldn't have thought that the goon was him. So I'm like, yeah. So there we were. So I ended up like making that goon graphic. I ended up just looking
I
for
like that.
like whatever. I was like, all right, let's find a font that has that has circles for O's, so I can turn them into I's. And on this one, I like stretched it out because I wasn't sure how much wobble, because of all the ripples in the door, whether or not it would shrink it up a lot or not. And yeah, I fucking dig it. And
I really love
it's
that.
it's still really juicy, and so I'm like, it needs to fucking dry before I do that resin, or it's gonna do bad things. So tonight
That is correct.
I'll have the space heater on it. I mean, like I was thinking, oh, maybe I could just get, maybe I'll just get, go spend a lot of money on UV resin, and then just spend time layering that up. I'm like, no, I have the Art and Glow stuff. I got a free gallon of it, and
Yeah.
so I'm like, yeah, I'll
Use
do
it.
that.
Yeah.
So that's my my own weird discretion on it. So those are the pieces I'm working on, and like I did have what I've had to do is I've had to set up a priority queue of which ones are going to be like the most important to get done, the more flashy, showy ones to get done, and then I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 4 more over there that are little guys that are like, I get them done, great. If I don't, no big deal. But
Yeah.
I think once we sign off here, I have like 2-3 hours worth of work, and then done, and that's pretty cool. Like
And I have just a convention.
I'm like, I've crammed 4 days worth of work into a day and a half, and I am not bragging. I'm really fucking annoyed that that's had to be the case. I'm like, last we saw each other on last week's Paint Club, I was like, okay, 2 sleepless nights in a row, and I ended up having like not completely sleepless, but I think in 6 days I had about 19, 20 hours worth of sleep.
Oh
So
dear.
not the best and not my worst stretch either, but it was like it had to be now. So
Oh.
you're like, yeah, so I'm
No
not
sleep till Philly.
right. I'm like, I'm not complaining. Well, I guess I am, but I'm not trying to. I'm just like, well, this was me, and yeah, so just moving along,
I'm
and
excited.
I'm so excited to have this done and be on the road. And it's not like, oh, I'm done. I'm so glad to have this done. I'm like, no, this is fucking cool. I'm glad to have it done. And,
Yeah.
and I was like, okay. Last night I finished one, and I was like, all right, one down, 9 to go. And when I had dinner tonight, I was like, Alicia's like, how's it going? I'm like, I still haven't finished anything today. And she's like, are you freaking out? I'm like, nope. Freaking out doesn't help anything.
Rule number 4: don't ask if you're freaking out.
I'm like, she's, hats off to Alicia. She's been incredibly supportive on this, especially with this last week where it's like she knows I'm pissed about my sleep schedule or sleeping habits. So that's been super awesome. And yeah, like, that's great. I'm just plugging away and having a damn fine time. Like, and I'll show the. All right, so actually, so the Megatech is the next on the priority list, which is about to be grabbed. But then, it's funny. I use the airbrush on these two. I use the airbrush for the legs on one and the brain on the other. So I ended up getting a second jumping brain. So this one I did the brain with the airbrush, and I'll be hand painting the legs. And this one I did the legs with the airbrush, and I hand painted the
painted the
little
brain.
rings like a blue ring octopus. And now it's like
Cool.
paint the brain, get it done, and the webbing in the feet and the webbing in the toes, and that's it. And then it's the sushi piece, but that might be the that'll probably be the sacrificial one. That's like you don't get done.
Yeah.
Um, and
And that's okay.
yeah, it's like I'm not freaking out about it. And that's like, so I'm not freaking out. You're freaking out. But yeah, that's great. I'm gonna have like I'm counting. I have 6 of my pups at the makers um, varnished, and I'm only counting them for tins and purposes of just say for workload. I counted them as one, but there's 6 pieces.
Yeah.
But there's 6, and my diorama's there, which I finally varnished. So the diorama's there and a ramen's there. So, but like the I'll have like 35 pieces there. So that's not too bad. And 35 toys.
And the goal was 30 for you, remember.
The goal was 30. The goal was to stop at 30, and I clearly didn't. It's those fucking pop-pops. If I hadn't wanted to have them match the piece, and that's because and that's because Smarks made the printed them for me. I wasn't planning on doing that piece, so it was kind of just like bonus, and that's great. So yeah, I got a little bit of finishing to do, and I'm super. It's been great. Like, I appreciate everybody who's followed the journey. Tomorrow, not only am I like varnishing stuff, I'm also going to start taking real pictures of stuff. So pictures tomorrow and Monday. Print up my shit on tomorrow. See y'all. So this is awesome. Like, this has been great. Yeah, I don't know. Like, like 35 toys in 77 days, and that's not counting commissions and yeah.
You're
So,
insane.
so it's fun. I fucking love toys.
I know you do.
So nice to know I'm not alone with the shitty sleep schedule, dude. Man,
Don't
I-
help him. Don't help him. He has every
I'll
control
tell you
over it.
what.
We're not doing this with him.
Who, Dylan? All
Yes.
right.
I'm like his older sister. He has every control over this.
All right. So then I'm going to show a quick trick, and hope
Yeah, 'cause
it
it's 11.
works.
It's 11 here.
It's 11. That's cool. So I got to show a
Pick it up early.
quick trick, and hopefully it works. That would look stupid if it didn't. All right. So move on over here. There we go. Let's not have that on it. All right. So putting eyes on things to avoid googly eyes. You got to find your center and find where you want your piece to be in the middle. I'm going to use it here. What your toy is looking at. You grab a stick or your paintbrush, and you essentially use that as your pivot point to be like, it's looking here and here, and that's
Ooh,
how you
I like
get
that
it
idea.
to look right. So that being said, I'm going to grab another stick and execute that idea. So grab a different stick. There we go. And normally, so I'm going to actually cut my stick so I actually have the right length. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the pointy part to be like, boonk, and boonk. And sometimes I would use paint to just do. I feel a little nervous doing it online live, so I'm going to.
Yeah.
So I'm going to mark a spot in my box where I want it to be looking.
It's like the focal point. Okay.
The focal point, and then I'm going to use that as my focal point. And my stick is still a little long. What I'm going to do is I'm going to mark where the pupil goes on the stick, and I'm going to lay it over here, and mark.
And then line it up. Got
A
it.
little tiny line, and then move over here, and put a little dot, and that's where I put my two little pupils. And now,
That's fucking so smart. I never even thought of that.
and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go with little pupils. Now the problem with the beach scene that I made is I used a lot of foam flock to make the grass on there, and I did glue it all down with a lot of Mod Podge and water. But now I have the loose flock all over the place, and like I'm blowing it off of this. I'm like, oh, did I scratch it? Nope, it's just the flock. So now what I've done is I've taken the tip of my paintbrush, dipped it into the lid, and I'm going to use that to create 2 dots.
2 dots.
And that's partly how it goes. And I'm a little high, so I'm going to enlarge it just a little and have it.
Oh, that's perfect though. Like that size is tiny enough for it to still look like he's like cracked out.
And serendipitously, since it's teardrop shaped, it now gives the weight of it being looked down on. So.
Oh my goodness.
So yeah.
Genius.
I'm just going to touch it up a tiny bit. And then I'll put a highlight in it once this. Now I have loaded up a ton of black paint on there when I use the spot method. So it's going to take a little while to dry. I'm like Bob Ross holding my breath. This is like the most nervous I've been painting.
Especially because it's literally dead silence unless you're talking.
Like there's no room of
There we
people
go.
to be like distraction. Oh my god, that pulls it together so good.
Thank you.
I love him. You're making this
Yeah, and
hard
then
to
I'll put
be
a-
able to decide what one piece I can afford.
So then I'll put a highlight here, and there'll be another highlight right at the base, and it'll be overlapping that pupil just to help add an extra there, and then on this side it'll be over here and here, and yeah, and that's pretty much that. And then I just need to whiten those teeth a little because I was like, oh fuck it, I'm gonna glaze it like this. It'll be all right, and then we'll just dab in a little really light blue, and call this part done. Jen's brain gets to be added in tonight, tomorrow, and yeah, so like that's that.
I'm excited.
So yeah, everybody gets to see like how some of the sausage is made tonight. That's all right. We were talking about that too. How like some people want to keep everything as a close secret, and I do. I keep a lot of things close to my chest, but it's like
I'm half and half, yeah.
if you pay attention long enough, I'll show you a lot. It's just like it's not like I'm giving you a painting degree from rickstroh.com, but you know you'll learn something if you follow along. So yeah, there we go. That's probably too light.
Ooh, I think one of my headphones just cut out.
Well, you know what that means. That means we should be signing off.
Only one of them though.
Oh, okay. So yeah, it's just like the jewel. That looks dumb. Yeah, change that up. Yeah, I don't like that. Ew. Fix that up. So, yeah, there we go.
I love this. He's so cool. I can't wait. I really can't wait. I'm so excited to see you. But the pieces are really like superb.
Thank you. This has been fun. Like, I love. The first show was exciting and awesome to do. It's fun to do things with Jason. I love and given another chance, I'll do more with Jason. Given a chance, I'll do more with Smirks. Like this is like I'm walking away with a new buddy and another show experience. I love this whole experience. It's just like it's fulfilling. That's one thing you can't.
That's all you want to hear. Yeah.
That
No,
it's
that's something
fulfilling?
we all want to hear. Yeah. Because it's not often, like, especially in the
It's not like I'm selling toys out of the back of my car. I'm taking my butt to Philly to greet people, talk to them, and yeah, there for a good time. I still don't like that. All right. I don't know. How do we fix that? Well, we're going to fix that by adding. I don't like it. So I ended up using a glaze over. I ended up using a glaze over the teeth to make it to darken everything. So I'm just going to grab that glaze and mix it with that yellow and hopefully come up with a darker color to meet everything. And there we go. And I'm wet blending, trying to blend in the wet paint with the new glaze. the most boring part of the show.
No.
I'm like, hey, that's what we got. So, there we go. You know, this motherfucker's got dirty teeth. Well, this motherfucker's been lit. So, just like, have that happen. There we go. Oh, muy better.
Way better.
Muy better. There we go. That's awesome. All right. And everybody watching can be like, well, I saw it here before it was on the show or before it was at the show. Like, that's right. You sure did. Appreciate it. All right.
Yes, you fucking did. Oh, shit, what is that sound?
Being said, there we go. All right. A little more. So yeah, I'm still using that same really pale yellow. And I'm just going back again, the third layer, just like the eyes. So I have like the middle is the brightest, and then mixed with some of that glaze, and then mixed with another to try and give it like that sense of depth. And, yeah. It's like talk seductively to your toy. Daddy's happy.
Oh, God.
Yeah. What have you been listening this week to this week? Because like I've had a.
I don't really like. Probably kind of the same as usual. I mean, I've been driving a lot, so like shuffle really nothing like. And mostly like like their music this weekend has been like '90s stuff, so it's been nice to like
Getting in the
kind of
mood.
just vibe. Yeah,
Nice.
and we got to be back there in the morning, so it's like, "Oi."
What time you got to be there?
The VIPs get there at 9, so
Ooh, all right.
yeah.
Cool. Well, I won't keep you up too much longer. All right. Well, that's cool. Yeah, dude. Like, I didn't know you were doing a con this weekend.
Neither did I. That's why I said like Maury show version. They said that was a lie.
When did you get roped into it?
Driving home from fucking practice.
Oh my god.
I know. I was like, okay. Like there wasn't much convincing to be done.
That's very charitable of you.
Yeah, I mean, he makes my earrings, so.
There you go. That's cool.
And he's making more, and he's gonna make some cool pins for Pride. So.
All right.
Least
Yeah,
I can do.
and I didn't get my Pride piece done, so I will have to.
Oh no!
So
You're not done
I
for
will-
June.
Yeah, so I will. What's going to happen then is I'm going to make a smaller version so it can be boxed up easier and sent to you. But yeah, so like I was going to cut it out on the laser cutter, and I just like I had to prioritize. I had to prioritize the current event instead of the.
Well, yeah.
So I'm like,
June's June.
but the idea was I really did want to get like this piece done so I could have it bigger. You know what I mean? So like
Yeah.
it's just like it just gets downsized because it's a smaller because of shipping.
Yeah.
And it's like
Which
I
makes
could
sense.
do it. I could do a bigger piece, but then it makes it more expensive. But then I can also experiment, and if I like it, I may just make a couple so I can have it for things here. And that's cool too.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
I mean, you could also make it big and just bring it to 5 points.
Really? I thought when's the Pride? When is the Pride show?
The week after 5 points.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was thinking it was before. So
No.
sweat.
Yeah, we're the week after. Yeah.
Okay. Well, then no sweat. I'll bring it to 5 points with me. That's,
Yeah, you could do it the way you want to. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Cool. There you go.
I just thought about that because I was gonna say like, oh yeah, do a big one for 5 points. I'm like, wait,
Okay. Oh,
that's before
great.
this.
That's great. I'm glad we had this conversation. I suppose we would have had that next week, but here we
But at least it's on your brain.
Okay. Yeah, that's cool. All right, so there we go. So there's the teeth all lit
Oh, that's so much better.
up. Thank you.
I love him. I mean, I loved him anyways before, so I'm just hamming you up a little bit over here.
That's cool. Like, yeah.
Oh, I love
So
it.
the TV's not done. TV will get finished, I guess, by tomorrow. So, but this gets. So the nice thing about the TV is it's made out of wood, so I don't have to use. So I can use a different varnish on it, and I don't have to worry about having it done tonight. So that means
Yeah.
I can just set it aside for perfect. All right. So then, same technique that I was doing with what the hell is my white? What the fuck?
It's in front of you.
The white? No, dude.
What is that? That's your arms going
This?
over. No.
This?
Yeah.
This is a pale yellow. This is a white blue.
Oh, I
This
can't.
is-
Sorry, it's hard to see in the.
No. It's cool. Like, I ended up buying. So there's a model company out there that I kind of. There's a model company out there that I do like their paints, and they have they released this artist series from like model painters that are also influencers, and this one dude's line, I can't stand watching this one dude because of his delivery, but he fucking knows what he's talking about. And I bought one of the paints from his line, and I was like, all right, this dude, and I know the dude knows what he's talking about for the most part. But I was like, he fucking knew what he was doing when he had them develop this color for him. I'm like, cool, that's badass. All right, there we go. Highlights on it. Same, just like dots from the paintbrush. Yep, that's done. So in the process of 2 hours of doing Talk About Paint Club, 1, 2,
We've
3,
seen it.
4 done in 2 hours. So it's always a misnomer because it's not like I started fresh, but yeah.
Whatever. It's completion. Yeah.
Yeah, it's completed. So pretty stoked about that. And yeah. And I like this dude's this dude's lighting effect is just the way it's how I want it. So like dark from here, lit from behind, and the brain's the same way. I just chose like I'm gonna have it lit with different colors because the brain is indeed a different color than just to help distinguish. And like when I glue this in, I'm going to heat up the hands with the hair dryer so I can just stretch it around and so the only real problem is like it can be a little tippy once it's in there, and they've already filled it with resin to weigh it down, so I can't do anything else because I've already tried.
It only looks tippy when you start tipping it.
Right. So I'm going to be
tip it.
Right, exactly. So there it is. So it's all lit.
Oh
Everything's lit from behind. It's just a suggestion of reflected light there. And yeah, boom. There we go.
That's crazy.
So yeah.
I'm so proud of you.
Thank you. So I'm like, aha, one more. Now Aaron has a project for me to do, and he was like, "Are you gonna send that in, or are you gonna bring it with you?" I'm like, "I'm bringing it with me." And there's a good chance that I will. There's a good chance that I'll finish it, but I'm probably going to be bringing it unvarnished and varnish it in Philly.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah.
Why not? You got 2 patios to do it on?
Yeah, I'm just hoping the weather cooperates.
It should.
So
I looked ahead of time. It should.
That's my big fear. All right, dude. Well, it's time to still hit a couple more things up. We're gonna sign off. Thanks for following along on the paint along.
Yeah, I love this.
So
And when you're
Yeah.
back, I'll paint something,
I was,
and we'll do
when
it again.
when I took a survey about like things to alter the format, I was asked to do paint live paint. So you got it.
So we shall then. Shit. Okay.
All right, dude. It's midnight, almost midnight in your area. I'll let you go. I'm surprised my headphones haven't crapped out. Um, and yeah,
I
I'll
think that
see you.
I think these haven't because they're not technically mine. I left mine at home, so I think only one did instead of how mine usually would both be like
Okay.
proud of these.
So yeah. So Nicole, tell all these wonderful people where they can find you.
Up here on Instagram at this thing at this name.
Okay.
Tomorrow in Hartford, Connecticut at 90s Con. Next week with Richard in Philly,
Oh, yeah.
where I'm going to be taking over Paint Club. And
There you go.
yeah, here with these guys. Maybe I'll
Right on.
paint
All
live
right.
on Monday because I'll be home.
There you go. That's cool. Maybe. All right. Let's see. I'm Rick Strohmeyer at Rick Stro on the old Instagram, rickstro.com. This Saturday, 1 week from now, 6 days and 20 hours from now, door number 1 opens with myself and Smirky Smirks at the Mothership, 3314 Pi, East Girard, Philadelphia. Yeah, there's going to be prints, custom toys, resin pieces,
Beer.
beer, and a good time, good vibes, and good golly, I'm fucking stoked. So, thank you all for watching. Yeah, hope to see anybody and everybody there. Yeah, show. Let's go. Ciao.
When we're here for the good vibes, baby.
Yep. Don't fucking. Okay. Future rule: dry fit before you commit. Bye bye. 2 hours. We were doing this for 2 hours. Awesome.
Hey,
Bye,
Bradley.
Nicole.